Welcome to 0 to 60. Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6 0 Football Academy and 6 0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado since 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of the football.
That was his dream to play for Colorado.
And McChesney grew up in Colorado, always wanted to be a Buffalo, has had a great career.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We're at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much. Happy Victory Monday to everybody out there. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. Big thanks to Believe and FanDuel and Game Time and everybody else for all that they do to keep the show going. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We have a lot to talk about here today, so let's get going.
Matt, happy Monday. We're in the building here on 0 to 60, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. And Matt, Colorado gets it done. Kaidon Salter and Colorado take care of business against Wyoming, Folsom Field. We get to see Ralphie, the 7th, run out of the tunnel and run out there. And, man, I have hauling ass, to say the least. I think Colorado Buffaloes faithful, those of alumni and such, are probably proud of that. Matt, I'm sure you enjoyed that. But let's go ahead and get your biggest takeaways from Colorado versus Wyoming, Matt. Go ahead.
It's good to win. First of all, I mean, it's good to win. The numbers offensively were outstanding. 190 yards rushing and Salter actually running the football, which was nice to see. 304 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. I'll take that. He looked pretty pissed off. Yeah. It makes me wonder back, like, when wasn't he the best option? And that makes me question that in the meeting room a little bit, but I wasn't in the meeting room, so they did what they did, and it might have lit a fire under his ass to the point where he's going to give us this all year. Then we have a chance to win every game we play. So, if we get quarterback play like this, we're going to be in every game. So, BYU is not some world beater this year. They lost to Stanford, for God's sakes. So there's plenty of opportunity here if Colorado can figure out how to bottle this up. I think Wyoming is a really good defensive football team that we butchered, to say the least. Well, we played better against them than Utah did, and we played better on Saturday than Utah did. God, they looked bad. Texas Tech looked good, but Utah looked really bad. Mm-hmm. So, look, the ebb and flow of college football has, we hit on Saturday. We're 2-2. We're 0-1 in conference. Saturday night's game at 8:15 again. Holy God in heaven, bro. That is so late.
Late.
I'm sorry, but it's late as fuck. Like, it's terrible. It sucks. It's awful. Mm-hmm. But that's what time we're playing. So I guess we might as well play that time. As a fan, I can bench. As a player, you just gotta do with it. I think that the Buffs have put themselves in a very good position if they can go beat BYU. If you go beat BYU, I just hope we can get to a bowl game. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, if we don't beat BYU and we're 0-2 in conference, and then we've got Iowa State, TCU, by Utah, fuck. That's daunting. So yeah, this is a must win. If we've ever had a must win, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to find something inside of you to go motivate you for this week, whatever last week's motivation was, which I'm sure was, I heard Prime say at the press conference, is this the reason this happened? Is Salter is the reason this happened? And he said, no, everybody just needs to do their darn jobs. Well, I'm pretty sure I echoed that last week about 100 times. Just do your goddamn job and everything will work out. Well, they did, and everything worked out. I'm concerned about the injuries. We got a lot of guys getting hurt, especially Jordan Seaton. We can't have him hurt. I think that he will be fine. He'll be back on Saturday night. The other guys we'll see. But I was impressed with everything. I thought the defense is a little leaky. Like the defense has got some issues, and
that was my next question for you.
Like the defensive line especially has some issues. Like there's just something about this defense where they can play 3 or 4 plays in a row where they look pretty good, and then bam, we're getting hit for 30. Like we are giving up a lot of explosive plays in the D. In the secondary, the linebacker core misses a lot of tackles. Like that group is hurting. Let me ask, where did Hill Green go?
Alabama.
Is he like balling out for them? Is he one of their starters?
He rotates in their inside backer core from what I'm seeing. From what I understood, he was like going into the season. I saw him rotating out there in Florida State and Alabama game. So I think he's in the rotating core, but I don't think he's actually a true starter. So
I mean, that guy stays here and plays the level and builds on last year. He's a draft pick.
Yeah.
That's a bad fucking decision right there, especially with the fact that we have nobody behind him. So, it kind of is what it is there. You got to just deal with what you got. So, I'd like to think that they're going to get better, but how much can you in a week? A lot of it is going to be personnel and how they play. I thought we had the 3 technique figured out after the first 3 or 4 plays. McNeil went in there and started 88, started at 3 technique.
Mm-hmm.
The first play of the game, he took on a double team, shed the double team, and had a TFL.
Yep.
And then he had a pressure, and I'm pretty sure he had a sack, and then I didn't see him do anything the rest of the entire game. So I'm yearning for that position to be filled by a guy who can play it at a high level. And I know Coach Becco and Coach Sapp is too. But overall, I tip my cap. Great win. It puts us on a collision course with BYU here to even up conference at 1-1 with a very good and hated Iowa State team coming in. Again, I understand that the modern prime sexual fan, and we've got the prime sexual shirts done. I just need to know how you guys want them to look. Should it just say prime sexual across the front? I need some feedback on that because they will be up.
Your feedback.
They'll be up on the website here by the end of the week, and you guys can buy them and wear them, and we're rolling. I'm definitely going to put my logo on it, so just deal with it. I guess to the prime sexuals, Iowa State, Colorado is not going to be a big game, but to anybody that lived in the Big 12 North or the Big 8, this is a conference game, and it has been for 100 years. So, they're pretty good, and I think that that's a huge opportunity at home to slay a giant. You go out, but you can't do it until you take care of BYU, and you beat BYU and Iowa State, and we're on this trajectory. And Houston was just a hiccup, and then after you get done with fucking Iowa State at home, assuming you win that game, you get to go back to the scene of the crime where Coach Prime unveiled, the gold numbers, and Colorado became, Deion Sanders University that day, which was honestly one of the coolest football games I've ever seen in my entire life. I put $1,000 on the Buffs that day. They were plus 700.
I remember that.
They won 45-42. I was freaking the fuck out. It was awesome. I was watching with Tufts and Wilder and all my boys, and it was incredible. So I think that there's a lot of potential here for them to build on, but there's a lot of shit to fix, bro. There's a ton of shit to fix. So, if thinking back on it, if we traded Otiste for Hill Green, we got screwed in that trade.
Yeah, I mean, Unfortunately, I mean, I'm chuckling, but yeah, fuck, you're right. Takeaways from this game offensively, it seemed Kaidon Salter really found his confidence, and it seemed that Colorado offensively seemed to really, really flow with him as the starting quarterback. And I hope that they ride with him throughout the rest of the season because I think he's their best guy by far and has been. Now, Matt, defensively, I was like concerned with the runs they were giving up. The Wyoming running back ran for 6.5 yards a carry. That was what stood out to me the whole night. And against BYU, they got a back who can really, really tote the rock here. And so Colorado, I think defensively has got to patch that up. I don't know if Lightfoot, the Fresno transfer D tackle, is coming back this week at all, but fuck, they could really use him in the run game. But those are my biggest takeaways from the game. Matt, what are your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot of hurt guys, that's for sure. They got to figure that out. But yeah, Salter looked great. I don't see how he's not the quarterback moving forward. Unless injury happens. But again, they're doing a great job protecting the passer. Great job. Like the top in college football. If they could figure out how to, just stay consistent with this run game that they found, which starts with the quarterback.
It does, yeah.
I don't need a bunch of like power and counter runs that we're going to run with just running backs. I want to run power and counter with the goddamn quarterback, 11 on 11.
Oh yeah,
like exactly. That should prove that it can happen, and it can happen at a high level, and that's that. It's kind of like you can't sit there and be like, oh well, this is just a one-off because it's Wyoming. I keep hearing that, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, when is it going to stop? Every time they win a game, it's because of the opponent. So the BYU game is needed, and they play TCU after that. And then Iowa State. Those 3 games. You're playing 2 of the 3 are going to be ranked. So you need to go get a ranked win and move forward. And, it starts with BYU Saturday night.
Yeah, it does, man. It really does. And I don't know. I think defensively it's going to be the big question. I think offensively, the more rhythm, the more confident they get. I mean, Salter looked pretty good. Sincere Brown and O'Mary Miller, are 2, dynamic players on the outside. Draylon Miller, I think, is really – he's just got to, patch up the mistakes and get in a rhythm because I also think he's a great, great player they can use too. But, man, those 2 on the outside, man, if Salter keep getting them the ball, I think they can really, really have a good season here. Maybe some surprise some people in the Big 12, Matt. Who knows? Let me ask you. You were there. How was the atmosphere? You got to see Ralphie the 7th, Matt. What was your reaction?
Well, the atmosphere was awesome. This little bastard wants to run. That's for sure. It came flying out of the chute. So
yeah, I was like, whoa,
yeah, bro. No more DEI Buffalo. I'm with it. And this one grows, and it's going to be running people the fuck over. So yeah, that's what we're looking for. Now we just need to sync up the team running behind it correctly.
Right. Yeah.
Because then it runs and the team comes out 30 seconds later. It's supposed to be at the same time. But again, that's old school shit. We don't do that in Boulder.
Of course. Man, well, good win for the Buffaloes. BYU this week, Matt. Unbelievable matchup here. It's going to be BYU's ranked 25th here, so this is a ranked matchup.
Oh, shit. 3 straight ranked games then.
Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Colorado defensively works. Colorado offensively. This is going to be a massive week of practice. I really hope they get after this week here and really prep for BYU. Matt, I wanted to hear play Coach Prime's comments. He kind of questioned the media about their lack of questions about Pat Shermer after the Wyoming win. Take a listen.
Everybody talking about Pat tonight. Now, where that went? Anybody? Oh, it's gone for a week, for at least a week, right? But when we execute, it's a beautiful thing. When we don't, it's going to be blame assessed. So, and I understand that life. I've been in this sports world for a long time, but I'm thankful that you got to see some wonderful plays that he's capable of making. You got to see some wonderful calls that was made from the top. You got to see some wonderful execution that was immense by the offensive line as well as the backs. They ran their butts off, and I'm proud of them.
What's your reaction to that? And then what are your thoughts on Coach Shermer going into BYU week, Matt?
Well, they didn't say anything because you put up 500 yards of offense. What do you want them to say?
Like,
Okay, and they did say something last week because, well, did they? I mean, hold on, Coach. That the media up there doesn't challenge you, bro. Never. I mean, the Kelsey and Kelsey interview is the most disingenuous, fake laugh bullshit I've ever heard in my life. So I just look. Why would we bust your balls? Why would the people in there bust your balls ever? But why would the media bust your balls about a 500-yard output and a win? So they wouldn't. But okay, I guess if you're a serious journalist up there, then this opens the floodgates when they do play well or when they play poorly, right? Now you can just start asking hard questions. I don't understand the like, well, where are you now? That would be like me coming on today and being like, well, I guess all those other problems didn't mean anything because they beat Wyoming. I'm glad they beat Wyoming. I understand that it's Wyoming. There's a lot of shit to clean up. I'm glad we put up 500 yards of offense. Coach Prime's relationship with the media is what it is, and they, his buddies up there at the Dow Ward that he meets with 3 or 4 times a week, and they do press conferences. They, those guys in the room have got to figure out if they're going to ask the questions or not. I think it's kind of ridiculous, but again, it makes for good sound bites and shit where we can actually like educate the people on what's supposed to be happening.
Yeah,
but there's no hard questions after winning 37-20. Maybe why is your defense so leaky still? Are you going to find a 3 technique? But again, anything that's negative after when Colorado and Coach Prime think it's supposed to be positive, if you say anything negative, there's a wall that's put up in front of you. Mm-hmm. And then usually what happens, what I've gathered over 3 years, is if the point is correct, the negative point is correct, he will find a way to put that into the next week, into next week's monologue, into next week's like expression to the public. They need to do their fucking jobs. If everybody would just do their job, everything would be fine. They need to run the ball more and be creative. If everybody would just run, if we would run the ball more and be creative, we'd be fine. It goes all the way back to his first year at UCLA when I did that video about how they couldn't stop a radar front.
Right.
And he was reaching out to me after the game, like, we're going to get this fixed, yada, yada. So he sees and hears everything. Don't think he doesn't. So he plays the media like a fiddle, and he is playing that fiddle again. And honestly, I congratulate the man for it. I mean, I've never really seen anybody do anything like this before. So
is a media like a fiddle, Matt. That he does. Unbelievable. But speaking of Colorado, Wyoming, you and your guys at 6-0 packed out deep at Colorado versus Wyoming. You want to shed some light, highlight your guys here?
Yeah, they really look like they hate us to me. So we had a bunch of guys up there, a bunch of young guys. I think Adrian Lee's the only senior in the group, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Adrian and Dakota. Everybody else is a sophomore, junior, freshman. Devin West in 8th grade, for God's sakes. So we're trying to coach Gunn and coach Gerard and Corey and everybody was out there, and it was essentially just the 6-0 guys getting like a catered meal and going to watch a game and meeting all the coaches and doing all that fun stuff. So it was very productive, and it always is. And I was trying to stay out of the picture as much as humanly possible because it's not about me, but they still told me to get in the fucking picture. That's why I'm pointing at. So, yeah, it was cool, man. It was good for Nick to get out and mingle a little bit before he has knee surgery, and just hear from the coaches that we're still going to recruit you and yada, 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 yada. So, yeah, this is very motivating and very productive for the group. And, it's amazing to me how much I hear parents are like, oh, I've never been on a game day visit. I've never done this. I've never done that. And then to have Coach Gerard and Gunner just stand there and be like, he hooks all this up for you guys every weekend, and he's real productive. He's real proactive, and he's real aggressive with the recruiting and things like that. It's good to hear the coaches say that to the clients, because there's a lot of people in Colorado that, like, they don't think I do what I do. Like, they after 15 years of doing it, they still neglect that I can help, like, the kids get recruited and shit. It's ridiculous to me. So, yeah. hopefully a couple of these guys end up in Boulder and they can help Coach Prime win some games.
Yeah, 100%. There you see Lamar West, father of Devin, in the chat. Shout out to you, Lamar. And yeah, Matt, that's good. People in the state of Colorado got to put some more respect on you because I think the results.
No, they don't. That's fine.
They should because the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, I don't need affirmation from a bunch of novices that don't know shit. It's all good. I'll stay in that Portland.
Well, Matt, let's move forward.
All I got up there the other night on Saturday was probably 100 hugs and handshakes.
Oh.
People just coming out of the stands, walking over to me in the stands, telling me how much they enjoy the show and how much they love this. And I didn't have one negative comment. No one tried to fight me.
Nobody.
No one tried to shoot me.
Where you at?
No one called me a racist. No one called me a fucking whatever else they call me in the chat.
No shit.
It was all love. So yeah, man, we'll just keep. Lamar was sitting right fucking next to me. He saw it all happen. Yeah. So we'll just keep acting like I'm the fucking bad guy. When in actuality, I'm behind the scenes, really the only one fucking helping facilitate any recruiting whatsoever to the University of Colorado. Period.
I'm just so that's unbelievable. So shocking that people wouldn't
crazy, isn't it?
Unbelievable. Matt, we got to address Coach Prime here. Coach Prime went on the Jason and Travis Kelce's podcast.
Now, hold on a second. Sorry. I needed attention, motherfucker. They came up to me. They didn't broadcast that I was on the big screen at the game, dummy. What do you need attention? I don't need shit but oxygen, a little pussy every now and then, and some food and some other shit. But other than that, we're good. So there ain't no need, homie. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, dog. This is fucking – the chat is just – why do you have so much balls when you think you can just type?
Yeah, exactly.
Why does that make people like feel like they're like tough? Like I'm behind a phone, so I can say whatever I want, and you can. It's not like I'm gonna fucking do
anything. We'll do some betting picks at the end of the show for Monday Night Football here, Matt. But Coach Prime went on Jason and Travis Kelce's podcast and responded to the report that Shedeur Sanders reportedly told the Ravens not to draft him in the 5th round because he didn't want to back up Lamar Jackson. Matt, I'm really curious to your response on this. Take a listen.
Been keeping up with Shedeur in Cleveland. What's the best piece of advice you've given him as a dad and as a coach?
Be patient and be ready. You got to be ready when it's time. But when it's time, you're going to know. And it's coming up.
There we go.
You know, I got a prediction. I ain't telling nobody. I got a feeling when it's going to go down. But it's going to go down this year.
It's going to happen. All right.
Yeah, he's going to get a shot.
And that's all you can ask for as a player. All you can ask for is the opportunity, right?
Tell me this, because this was all over the media, because I know y'all keep it a buck. That's why I love y'all to life.
Yes.
They made a big deal out of Philly called us on draft day.
Okay.
They didn't mention that. I just let a cat out of the bag.
I didn't know that. Yeah, okay.
Who was it? Baltimore.
And
I heard Browns.
This, yeah.
And the Browns. They forget, I know, I played for Baltimore, so me and Ozzie are cool. So we understood that whole conversation, and he wanted to talk to Shedeur as well as he wanted to talk to me. And I put Shedeur on the phone, and Shedeur, I don't want to say how it went, but how in the world can somebody fault him for saying or thinking, why in the world would I go back up Lamar for 10 more years?
For sure.
I've never sat on the bench and said, well, I learned a lot today.
All right. I don't know. The laugh is obnoxious.
No, keep it going. I want you to hear the end of it.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
God damn, that is a good quote.
I wonder how he liked the goddamn this is a good quote part, considering he's super religious and doesn't curse. I didn't even curse around Coach Prime.
Right.
So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is, Howard, could you just play that part of the clip again? How are you going to learn anything sitting on the bench? He's 5th string. He doesn't play at all. He
also said, I don't want to say how that interaction went. I'm really curious why he didn't.
What interaction? With who? With Baltimore?
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to.
He told us how it went. He talked to Ozzie and then gave the phone to his son, rather than his son handling all this and answering the phone for himself. And so look, if you think it's a better idea, and this goes to everybody, including Coach Prime, to not go to Baltimore where he played and back up Lamar Jackson and learn how to be a pro in a stable organization with a great head coach and a GM that, and Ozzie Smith, Ozzie Newsome, excuse me. Ozzie Smith played shortstop for the Cardinals. Ozzie Newsome, the Sandman, who could watch Shedeur progress 2 or 3 years and become an unbelievably good quarterback in this league and back up Lamar if he gets hurt, which probably is going to happen. You'd have to assume it eventually. And then maybe you get traded to somebody for a high, Baltimore gets a yield for drafting you when they did, and they take that, and then you get to go somewhere and play, via like a Steve Young situation, right? Even though, Steve was in Tampa and shitty, he had to go sit in San Francisco to learn. That situation seems to be way, way, way more productive than anything that has to do with the Cleveland Browns. So, the fake laugh, like he's in the commercial laughing and screaming at the TV right now. Yeah. I'm sorry, but this just seems to me like it's. I don't understand this part of all of this. I guess I'm too stupid and just too much of a rockhead to figure it out. But why is Baltimore a bad situation backing up Lamar, but Cleveland backing up another rookie, Joe Flacco, Billy Zappa, and Tyler Huntley they brought in, who's now in Baltimore?
So
am I missing something?
Here's what I think. They're putting a lot
10 years. Shedor's going to go sign 2 contracts to back up Lamar for 10 years. He's going to have a fucking 2 or 3 year deal as a rookie in the 5th round. And then he can leave if he wants to, or they can sign him and he can stay the backup unless Lamar gets hurt. And then all of a sudden Shedeur goes in and saves the day. And then, the opportunity to go save the day in Cleveland and the opportunity to go save the day in Baltimore, you have to have the opportunity to save the day. Cleveland's never going to be in a save the day opportunity ever. So Baltimore's a playoff team every year. I just don't see how. And I don't believe that these 2 jock sniffers in this clip, I don't believe that they believe this either. I don't even believe that Coach Prime believes it. I don't believe anybody. If you tell me that 4th or 5th string for Cleveland behind another rookie they picked 2 rounds ahead of you is a better fit than potentially going to the Baltimore Ravens and Ozzie Newsome and Harbaugh and Lamar, because sitting on the bench never taught you anything. Well, you're sitting on the bench in Cleveland. Now, what is that teaching us?
Exactly. That's my point, man. It's also they're putting a lot of stake in Shedor's going to beat out Gabriel, and Gabriel is going to have no success, or Flacco's going to have no success. Coach Prime said it's going to happen this season. Okay, we'll find out. That's a lot of you're putting a lot of stake in Dylan Gabriel not succeeding, which so far in all the little regular season action he's had, he looked fine.
What are we going to find out this season?
Prime at the beginning of this, he's like, we're going to see this season. He thinks that Shedeur will see the field this season at some point.
Well, he may, but it'll be for a team with 10 plus losses.
Right. Also, that's the other part of it. You're in Cleveland, horrific versus Baltimore. So interesting comments there from Coach Prime. The reaction, the laughing from specifically Jason Kelsey seemed a little disingenuous, a little fabricated. I don't know how you feel about it, Matt, but it was obnoxious to me. I don't know.
I feel that if you're a 5th round quarterback and you think you're going to walk in and start immediately, you're delusional. Tom Brady sat for an entire year and a half before he got his opportunity to back up Breeze, and Mo Lewis knocking or Drew Bledsoe out. So Breeze. That's number one. Number two, you want the best place to go play potentially. And that place is Baltimore to learn and get better. And why, if Philly called you, why didn't you want to go to Philly and learn behind Jalen Hurts, who runs all the time, and you could go back him up? And they're the Super Bowl champion. You don't want to go be in that environment? I don't know. Look, if Cleveland's a better environment than Baltimore and Philadelphia to nurture talent and develop, then I must be missing something.
I don't know. They're putting, like I said, that's my takeaway. They're putting a lot of stake in Dylan Gabriel and Flacco not succeeding, specifically Gabriel, because if Gabriel goes in and plays well, I don't know how Shador sees the field and like starts and like takes that over. If Gabriel,
The Sanders don't like taking the easy routes. Shador's never competed for a job at quarterback in his life. His dad's been his coach the whole time.
Interesting statement. I don't know.
I mean, that's again, this is about to turn into like Matt's a racist land and shit. So let's just move on, dude. I hope that it works out for Shador. Again, we're talking about a 4th-string quarterback. It is what it is.
Yeah. On the other side, we're going to break down all things NFL from the weekend here. We got to talk about Matt's Broncos playing an interesting kind of a thriller against the Chargers. Chargers end up getting it done there. Colorado State fans are in disarray and not happy with Jay Norvell as Braden Fowler Nicolosi has been benched, officially benched for the backup there. We're going to discuss that as well as Chiefs Queendom versus Giants last night. Russell Wilson looked horrific, but we got to see LT in funny fashion, so we get to react to that. Jordan Hudson's on the sideline for UNC down at Central Florida as they get their ass whooped down there. We're going to react to that and so much more. So if you're watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family today. 0 to 60, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. We'll see you on the other side.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass pro and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
We're back. Pound the like button. Check out Big Matt on Cameo 60 Academy. What are your takeaways from your Broncos game yesterday, Matt? This throw at the end by Herbert to Keenan Allen was unfreaking real. I know this was a really good game. Your edge rushers, Benito and them getting after Herbert, but what an unbelievable throw there. What were your takeaways from that game, Matt?
The Broncos have a fourth quarter problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. On top of that, Bo Nix just seems like he's off.
Mm-hmm.
He missed a ton. In the last 2 weeks, he's missed probably 6 or 7 deep throws.
Yeah, like overthrows. They're right there.
Open fucking touchdowns. Not even having to, you shouldn't have to even dive after it. The one he missed to Sutton the other day was.
Or Mims. They wanted Mims too. I was like,
you fucking put it on Sutton, and that's 6. So I don't know how long Sean Payton is going to have a little bit of patience with this. I can't imagine very long. I think they'll beat Cincinnati on Monday night because Cincinnati is Joe Burrowless. So
Browning is struggling.
unless they go trade for somebody, I don't know, like Shador or Kirk Cousins or something. Yeah, right. We'll see what happens there. I'm sure that they'll just roll with Browning. The quarterback's hurt. The season's a wash. That's the way Cincinnati usually operates in the first place. They don't have the money to go out and sign anybody. They had to sell the naming rights to the stadium just to pay Joe Burrow. So I will say the Broncos should be happy that they have an owner that can spend recklessly if he wants to. That's good. Bo Nix has got some accuracy issues, and I'm not going to say the play calling is bad because, I mean, it's all subjective at the National Football League level. You know, something that doesn't work in the first quarter could easily work in the third quarter. The Broncos could easily be a 3-0 team, and they could easily be an 0-3 team. So I don't know. We'll see. Bo Nix has got to get his shit together. I'll tell you that. That's too many missed throws by a fucking first-round professional quarterback to stay your professional quarterback. I'm sorry, but that's just the way things work.
And typically with, like, I'm seeing comments about the sophomore slump. Typically that's because of, like, D coordinators scheming and having a whole offseason to have tape on Bo Nix and after a whole season. Now these are just missed throws and basic things. And I'm like, hey, these are layups. Like, you got to hit these. So it's
it doesn't really have anything to do with – he's not confused by coverage and shit. He's missing wide-ass open throws.
Exactly. That's my point. Yeah.
Like the scheme and the film has put him in position to hit these throws and be leading the NFL in passing and win the Colt game and the Charger game by 10 to 14 points each.
Mm-hmm.
That's the position you were in. And instead of taking advantage of it, you miss throws, fucking, throwing picks. The missed throw to Mims, the missed throw to Sutton, those are backbreakers, bro. Period. Like that's where on the sideline where you're like, if we would have hit that, just like I said, we win the game. It's true. Because then everything that happened after that is just like holding on. You're just holding on and hoping to God that Herbert doesn't pull a rabbit out of a hat, which he did. And he fucking laced that ball to Keenan Allen, which you wonder why the Charger organization ever thought it was a good idea to get rid of that guy. I'll never know. But they were smart enough to bring him back. That might be a Harbaugh thing. Playing for the Harbaugh seems to be pretty productive for like 99.9% of the guys that play for him. So that's all I'm saying. Maybe playing for a Harbaugh would be a good thing. I'm just saying, when's the last time somebody played for one of the Harbaugh brothers and didn't win, go first? He turned J.J. McCarthy's sorry ass into a first-round quarterback.
You took Kaepernick to a Super Bowl, dog. Like, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, this league is about winning. And usually when you're on a winning team, you're going to have more opportunities because of that. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with all this, but that was a winnable game. The last two games have been ultimately winnable for the Broncos, and they choked them away in the fourth quarter. If that trend continues, they're going to be on the outside looking in because the AFC is stacked.
Yeah.
I will say the Chiefs-Giants game was one of the worst football games I've ever watched.
I was getting so pissed off. That's not, and it's late out here. I'm like, dog, it's 11 p.m.
I went to bed. I'm over this shit. I'm not watching this anymore.
Well, speaking of that game, they did a cam on the big screen on MetLife. They're like a Taylor Swift cam, but instead of that, we got a nice surprise. Take a look. Just LT puffing a cigar. But yeah, I don't know. That was Russell Wilson looked horrific. I don't know. They only put Jackson Dart in, but they only run him. They don't really use him to throw. What are your thoughts on the Giants quarterback situation right now? And then are the Chiefs in trouble, Matt? Because they got out of there with the win, but I don't know. It's concerning.
I think the Giants are the dumpster fire. I thought they would be, so you're welcome. I think fucking Russell Wilson is cooked. He can't play anymore. I don't care what he did against the Cowboys. Cowboys make Caleb Wilson look good. He also is terrible.
We'll talk about them in a sec. Holy moly.
I look, bro, I don't know what to say about last night's game. I don't know who's good and who's not. It was just a complete clusterfuck of coaching, play calling, Patrick Mahomes just running around like looking like fucking Jack Sparrow out there just trying to make some shit happen. I wonder now, should you be playing in the system so you can actually run the system because you don't have the players to just run around and throw the ball up anymore? Although he ran around and just threw the ball fucking up and Thornton caught it twice for touchdowns.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this shit anymore, dude. I'm perplexed, to say the least. I don't know if you can get away with that with anybody but the Giants. They are pretty terrible. So I would imagine Dayball will be out of there pretty quick.
I don't know if Dayball's out of there. I just think they got to play the kid Dart.
We're not keeping that fool, man. He went 9-7-1 his first year and has won 9 games since. He's gone. Gone.
We'll see. I don't know. If Jackson Dart goes in there and has some success, that might buy him some time. That's the only I'm in my head, that's the only scenario that keeps him there. Because Jackson Dart, if they didn't draft Dart or nothing, there was no backup quarterback that everybody was looking on the sideline.
He's gonna get fired, bro. Dart's gonna
using him as decoy to run the football. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the Giants are horrific. Now the Cowboys, Matt, Caleb Williams and the Bears dominate the Cowboys badly. Like Dak's out there. I mean, they took him out in the fourth quarter, put Milton in. How bad are the Cowboys this season, Matt? Could they be the worst team in the NFC East?
But they might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's the Cowboys are a dumpster fire. You can't play that bad a defense in this league. Mm-hmm. It's awful. So I don't anticipate them going anywhere. And Schottenheimer will probably only be there for a year. So,
yeah, that part I do agree with. And
I mean, they might as well just fucking just trade off all their assets and just rebuild, bro. This has gotten to the point where they need to Herschel Walker, CeeDee Lamb, and fucking some of these other guys that they paid on offense. For real. Like, you need to rebuild your team. This isn't the Arena League. We're not winning 105 to 103.
Right. And CeeDee Lamb will be out for the next game facing Micah Parsons and the Packers. So that's going to be interesting. George Pickens.
Hey, people really believe this, like that Cleveland was a better opportunity. Guys, if you go in the 5th round as a quarterback, you're a backup. You're not looked at as a starter. It doesn't matter where you go to play. It matters where you go to learn. How do you guys not – you don't understand this because you think this is Madden. It's not Madden.
Well said, Matt. I mean,
ridiculous.
Say on this front. But, yeah, I don't know, Matt. The Cowboys are struggling. Trayvon Diggs is just – I don't know. Diggs is a problem. George Pickens looks good, but then he, again, does not block in the run game. I don't know if you've seen the clips of him.
He's just a freak out artist, that guy. That guy's a fucking head case.
Yeah, and Jerry Jones came out this morning, said they're a playoff team still, so.
Get the fuck out of here. Jerry Jones is – look, the documentary was awesome. Jerry needs to retire. Jerry is in the Al Davis part of his ownership. He's in the Al Davis part of his ownership where he's just old, decrepit, and he's fucking out here like crypt keeping the Dallas Cowboys until his kick and kick over. And hopefully his son has a more rational football head on his shoulders, other than like, I'm not going to negotiate with his agent, therefore we're going to lose the best defensive player we've had here. And then we're going to be dog fucking shit on defense, by the way.
Horrific. Like, I mean, they have.
You can only blame yourself with this. It's what it is. He has the money to pay him.
Like, let's think about this. Caleb Williams has struggled this season, and then he goes out and dots up the Cowboys. Russell Wilson looked god awful last night, but I mean, he looked great against the Cowboys. So I'm seeing some teams here, Matt, where we might want to take note here, since the show is brought to you by FanDuel. Might want to look at these teams when we bet.
Who are the Cowboys playing next?
The Cowboys play Micah Parsons and the Packers this week on Sunday Night Football.
They're coming off a bad loss.
In Cleveland, ironically. Yep. And, God, who else? The Miami Dolphins.
We want to talk about bad football games. That football game was fucking terrible.
What, Cleveland and the Packers?
Oh, my God, it was awful.
Well, the Browns, Joe Flacco, they figured it out.
They got lucky as fuck, bro. There's a blocked field goal. And
there were so many blocked field goals this weekend,
yeah,
man.
There were. The Jets even blocked one and took it back, and they were like, we're going to win. And then they didn't because
I feel bad for Rams 3.5 plus 3.5 betters. That is a bad beat if I've ever seen one. Oh my lord! Oh my lord! Anyway, that's unbelievable. But Commanders get it done against the Raiders with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. He trucked Dan Quinn on the sideline, had a bloody little cut on his face there. But Commanders get it done. Matt, how you feeling about Washington after they go to 2-1 against Pete Carroll and the Raiders?
A win that you had to have. You can't lose to the Raiders at home. They're a better football team than the Raiders. The Raiders are starting to show some of their warts. Like they're just not very good. They've got to build, Pete Carroll's got to stay there and build the program. But, the quarterback seems like he can play. The offensive line's a little leaky. Genty isn't being used at the clip I thought he was going to get used. That's for damn sure. But Washington looks pretty good. They won with a backup quarterback. Yeah, I think that they're more apt to be, the second team out of the East than the Cowboys or the Giants. I mean, what the fuck? So when you're in that division, you beat the Giants twice, you beat the Cowboys twice. That's 4 fucking wins. So, the Eagles and the Commanders both of those teams are looking pretty for the playoffs to me, if I had to guess.
Yeah, we'll see how Jaden Daniels works his way back from injury, but Mariota and the Commanders get it done at home against the Raiders. Matt, it's time to talk about your Jets and at the end of that game, boy, holy shit! I mean, you saw Aaron Glenn on the sideline doing the thing after the block punt, the celebration, whatever. That's going to be a new meme on the internet forever now. So that's cool. But what were your takeaways from the Jets' loss versus the Buccaneers and their new throwback uniforms that look clean, by the way?
It was typical. I knew. I just when they returned the kick for the block kick for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't excited.
Oh, you were.
I was looking at how much time was left on the clock, and Baker Mayfield, and said they're going to lose, and they lost. So the Jets are a fucking dumpster fire. They're always going to be one until they figure out how to actually run a football team and, stay healthy and find a quarterback. I don't know why it's so hard to find a fucking quarterback in New York, but God almighty, it is hard. So I'd imagine they're going to be at the top of this year's draft trying to draft one of these fucking college saviors that's going to come in and just bring you back to 1969. Fuck. So, the Jets are a dumpster fire, bro. Thanks for bringing them up.
We got to talk about your teams. You're the Broncos, the Jets. We talked about the Dolphins a little bit too. We haven't really talked about the Rams, but I mean, we kind of talked about that game. What a weekend of football. Before we continue with the NFL, I want to take a brief interlude here and check on Colorado State fans. Like I mentioned, Braden Fowler and Nick Losi was benched after their game last week against UTSA that lost. It's from CSU Ram Nation. He says, Jay Norvell is the dumbest motherfucker on planet Earth. Who the fuck pulls a red-hot quarterback out of the game? Who the fuck puts a quarterback in shotgun there from the goal line? Fuck this guy. Fucking clueless fuck. Guy has been wrong about everything. Hate this fucking guy. I just figured we'd check in on Colorado State fans since we love the sheep and just an unbelievable program over there in Fort Collins. And Colorado don't play them for a while, so this is the only time we'll probably ever talk about them the whole season.
Losing 17-16 is hard. They went for 2 to try and win it. That goes nuts. I mean, I don't really have a problem with that. What are your expectations exactly in Fort Collins? He won 8 games last year. They've been fucking non-existent up to that point. So, they're not as good as they should be, but who is? That's what football is. I guess I've gotten to the point in my life here as a fan and as an ex-player and the coach that the majority of people don't know shit about football, yet we listen to their opinions and even in the comments.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just human nature, I guess. But when you realize that 99.9% of people don't know dick, they're just watching to be entertained, and it gives them something to bitch about, and then they think they know because they like listen to talk shows and watch. Like I love it when I hear. I was watching film and I'm like, of the stock market? What are you talking about? So, yeah, man, I understand you're frustrated, but next week if they win their conference game, you'll want to blow him behind the fucking stadium. So, and again, you wouldn't say that to him. If Jordan Norvell was standing in front of you, you would ask for his autograph.
Facts.
And be like, I named my dog after you, Jay. You're the man. Like, let's be real.
And Coach K is right. Torrey Horton balled out for the Seahawks yesterday.
He sure did.
Yeah, Seahawks look unbelievable. That looks like a home run pick for the Hawks there. Nick Bosa, and some news going back to the NFL here, Matt, suffered a season-ending ACL tear, fortunately. So it's a big loss for the Niners here, as they already have Brock Purdy out. They're rolling with Mac Jones, and they figured it out against the Cardinals. But a huge loss for the Niners there. How do you feel about that, the division, et cetera, and the Niners?
They're only going to be able to sustain so many injuries, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, that team is just – they cannot stay. If they're ever healthy, they're a fucking Super Bowl team. Whenever they're healthy, they're in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But they just can't stay healthy. So, yeah, it's bad. I mean, even McCaffrey, when he was on that last play to get him in field goal range, it looked like he was hobbling. Like, it looked like he was dragging his leg. So, like, I don't know what they're going to do in San Francisco, but they've got a ton of money wrapped up in a lot of guys that don't play that much and can't stay healthy, and that sucks. Like, I'm not even mad at them. It's not being able to stay healthy is like the worst possible thing for a football player.
No, 100%. They have a lot of JB's point this morning. He kind of went off about this. Was they're paying Brock Purdy how much money? And I mean, Mac Jones are 3-0 right now. They're getting it done, but I don't know. That's a huge loss in Nick Bosa.
Yeah, I wonder when this is going to stop.
What do you mean?
The over-evaluation, overpaying, over-exaggeration of quarterbacks' like worth to a franchise. Like, Brock Purdy doesn't need to be paid $50 million a year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it stops though, Matt. It seems like
But,
I don't know how
the franchise has to be smart enough to stop it, right? Like, the franchise.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but Brock Purdy's not. Brock Purdy and Mac Jones look like the same guy to me. If Mac Jones was in San Francisco that whole time instead of Brock Purdy, he'd probably be a way better player and prospect than he was, instead of being in dysfunctional land last year of Belichick. I mean, is there anything more dysfunctional than the last year with Bill Belichick in New England? That place was a fucking hellhole. And he still took him to the fucking playoffs.
That is true.
So I'm just saying, sometimes, most of the time, let's not say sometimes, most of the time when you overpay for a quarterback, you look like an idiot. Let's be real.
Yeah. Seems to be a common trend there. And especially, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, they won, but fuck, he's struggling, in my opinion, still. I mean, I don't know. He has, I think Shane Waldron's their OC, so that's a fun time, I can tell you, from him with the Seahawks. But again, Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy falls in this conversation. Daniel Jones, on the other hand, Matt, unfucking believable. Colts are on fire. They run the football well, played decent defense. But Daniel Jones is on fire, and put him all kinds of bootlegs and different things to really get him out in, good position to get his. I mean, Alec Pierce had 100 yards. Jonathan Taylor ran all over the Titans. Cam Ward and the Titans struggle though. But I don't know. How do you feel about Daniel Jones?
Getting out of New York seems to be doing well for him.
Yeah. Shit.
So much of it is where you play quarterback, not how you play quarterback.
No, that's true.
That's just a fact.
Fit is,
and the fit in Indianapolis is good right now. We'll see if they can keep this going. We'll see if the Colts can stay on this hot streak. But again, so much of it is where you play, and not necessarily who you are. That's just a fact. So there's very few guys that can go in and elevate a shit program in the NFL and take them to heights that they've never seen. It doesn't happen often. But everybody's searching for that one guy. So you're going to keep swinging until you hit.
No, well said, 100%. Let me get the final question for you before we dive into Monday Night Football and some betting here. Show's brought to you by FanDuel. You still feeling confident that your Broncos can win the division, or do you think it's the Chargers division kind of to take over, or is it the Chiefs?
No, it's 100% the Chargers division. They're 3-0 and they've won 3 division games.
I agree. Yeah,
if they fuck it up, I'd be shocked. So the rest of those teams are chasing the fucking wild card.
Yeah, I mean, do you think the Chiefs are still a playoff team? You think they're a wild card team? Going into the season, I said 10 wins in the wild card, but I still think the Broncos and then the Chargers win it. Broncos are second.
I don't know. I got to see them play a little bit more. They're pretty average.
It's a fair assessment there, 100%.
They look like there's some cracks in the, Lombardi Foundation with everybody yelling at each other and Andy Reid fucking confronting Kelsey.
Yeah.
It looks like they're fed up with each other. It looks like they've all been around each other for too long and they're fed up. And that happens. I mean, watch that Cowboy documentary. We saw that stat. There's only 3 quarterbacks to have 3 Lombardis before the age of 30. And it's Brady,
Aikman, right?
Aikman and Mahomes. And Aikman's team crumbled because they couldn't handle success. And the owner's a psycho and got rid of their coach after winning 2 Super Bowls. And, the Brady did all that and then went on a 10-year lull. It's amazing that New England could be kept together the way they did for him to have that second run with the Patriots. Because most of the time, whenever you have that much success, everybody it's a cancer. It eats you from the inside out. And that didn't happen in New England until the very end, which is amazing to me.
Yeah, exactly. It's ironic. Let's dive into picks for tonight, though. Here we got a great matchup here. Ravens, Lions here. You can get right now the Ravens. It's up to 4.5. It opened at 3.5 here, but that pick is up to 4.5. Actually, on FanDuel, it's up to 5.5. Ravens are favorites over the Lions here. The total right now is at 53.5. Opened at 49, so up 4 points there. Matt, how you feeling about this matchup tonight? I don't know. I kind of like Detroit here. I think they could play spoiler here, go to Baltimore and give them a tough time here because they seem to really be rolling here. But how are you feeling about this game?
If it was in Detroit, I would take the Lions, but it's not. It's at the Big Crab Cake, and I have a feeling Baltimore's going to put on a show. They've scored 40 points in their first 2 games. I don't see why they can't do that against the Lions too. I would anticipate the over and a lot of touchdowns scored, and rather than last night's dog shit game, this is going to be a pretty good one. So, yeah, I'll take Baltimore in the over. I think, be pretty smart to put money on Zay Flowers to score. He hasn't yet, but he's leading the team in receiving. I bet you they make him priority. And then can anybody cover Amon-Ra St. Brown? Anybody? So, that kid is uncoverable. Detroit's going to score. It's just who's going to fuck up. So I would say Jared Goff will probably fuck up before Lamar.
That's fair. It's 2 questions to me here. How does Baltimore's secondary stop Goff? Because they have Jair and Humphrey, but Jair ain't what he used to be. I'll be honest, they got the kid Wiggins out there, but it's going to be interesting to see how Baltimore secondary handles Amon-Ra, Jameson Williams, and that receiving core for Detroit here. I'm rolling with the over. I love the over, man. I think it's going to be a pretty high-scored matchup here on both sides, but I think Detroit can win this game here. I love the 5.5. It's up to on FanDuel, which is interesting here. I think this could be a field goal game at the, when it comes down to it here, but I like 5.5 with Detroit and maybe sprinkle a little on Detroit money line here, but I like that. I like Detroit in the over here in this game. I don't know. I think ultimately they can take out Baltimore here, and that might shock those in the NFL, certainly Lamar Jackson fans, Big Smitty over on the JB show will be thrilled about this. That's how it plays out. But interesting picks here. Bet as you will. Show's brought to you by FanDuel, Matt. And looking forward to this week here. A lot of good matchups here this weekend in college football. Washington goes and takes on Ohio State. Ohio State goes up to Husky Stadium there on the Lake Washington there. So that's going to be an unbelievable matchup. Florida State's got Virginia, TCU, and Arizona State play. And that's going to be a high-scoring matchup to say the least here. Several other matchups too, Matt. Any other takeaways from this past weekend of college football before we move forward here and then close out?
No, it's done. It's time to move forward and, get ready for BYU and get ready for another great week of games. So, yeah, good show.
Good show. If you guys are watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family today. Tomorrow, Matt and I are going to preview Colorado versus BYU and really break down this game. BYU is coming off a big win against East Carolina on the road. With that said, they had a couple pick sixes, so some question marks with their offense there. I still believe they're starting a true freshman at quarterback. So we're going to discuss that, preview Colorado versus BYU, dive into keys to victory, and maybe have some film to break down for you guys as well, some Colorado film. So stay tuned for that. We appreciate all the support here. Be right back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Mountain. I'll be live over on my channel, Bailey Price Media Live, for College Football Review with my guy, Alcorn State, Coach Leroy Frederick, here in about 45 minutes to an hour. So go ahead and check that out here. We're going to talk about the Canes, Michael Irvin, Carson Beck, taking care of business against the Gators here. Matt, you got any closing thoughts before we get out of here on this fine Monday?
Nope. Go Buffs. See you tomorrow.
Go Buffs. We'll see you guys tomorrow, folks. Peace.